Okay, so our drawing starts now. If this is your paper, I want you to give more to the sky, less to the land. Look at this. The land will be less, so I want you to take a line only to here. And you can stop. So I gave more to the sky. See how this is more and this is less? That's what I want you to do. Now, next thing, I want you to start making the island. So we're going to add a small little diagonal line right there. Do you see it? You're going to add that line. And with this line, what your two lines you're going to extend. Look at me. The first line will go very horizontal and it will go across all the way to the end, like this. So it's almost like you were carrying on and on and on and you just go. Have you drawn those two lines, everyone? Thank you. The second line, you're going to go back to that small line and you're going to only bring it to about here. Look at that. So you're slightly going to bring this line all the way across and stop it here. This is your island. On the tip of the island is a lighthouse. So you're going to make one line, two lines, and you're going to close it with a curve. This is your lighthouse on the edge of the cliff. I feel like it's bending. I cannot take that. It feels like it's drooping over. No. Better. So that's my lighthouse. Leave the lighthouse alone. Come back here and I want a short line to here. Leave this and come out about this far and make another line just a little bit higher. Connect the two with a diagonal line. Stop here. This is your cliff. But when you make cliffs and mountains, you don't draw them in one solid line. You have to make them in sections. So this is your second cliff and it's going out here. Second, next line here. Make this go up a little bit higher, short line, and bring it back down. Another one. Then you're going to go out again and bring a sort of a line, not all the way down, and you're going to keep going. And I hope that this shows you how you end up creating like mountains along the edge of a, like far away on the corner of a beach. There'll be mountains that kind of grow, so you want to draw them. When you study mountains, you have to kind of study like how many sections are these mountains making. So look at how I'm drawing this. This is just boxes, right? 1 box, 2 box, 3 box, 4. So you're just making them into sections, and that's where the joints are in the actual mountain itself. So has everybody finished this line of little boxes so that we can then make the higher mountain behind it? That's where we're going to go next. So for the next one, we are going to leave the first 2 boxes alone, come to the third one and make a diagonal line going up, and let this line go out So that's a higher mountain behind the cliffs in the back. Okay, I'm gonna check. Hold on. Stop share. Okay. Nicholas, 1 minute, sweetie. I'm coming. Perfect, Nicholas. You've done very well. You can put that one down and we'll go to the next step of it. Tanvi, 1 minute, beta. It's nice, Tanvi, but the bottom line, I don't want you to make it that broad. Hold on, Swara, I'm coming to you. 1 minute. I'll show you in a minute. This is good, Swara. You can keep that one. Now, let me show you, Tanvi. I'll be right with you. 1 minute. Let me see. We're going to the screen and share. So, Tanvi, do you see this one? Look at my camera, this line. You have spread it out to about here. So you made it just that much wider. So I'm asking you to reduce that line. Everything else is good in your picture. You do not need to change anything else. Now, we're going to create the beach. This is our mountain coming. Look at me. Eyes on me first. In the middle, come skinny line here. Bring it out. There. So this is like your beach that's swirling in. Good. Now we're going to put a boat on the water. So you're going to start with the higher end here. Look at what I do. So watch me first, please. Do not draw. I'm going to make a diagonal line with the letter U. Look at this. Then I'm going to drop that line out a little bit and raise it and make the other side of the line. Do you see what I did? So that you have like a boat. Like this. So what did I do? Diagonal line, made a letter U, dropped that line and picked it up at the end and gave it the other side of the boat. And then I went back to the other corner and added a second line to give me a three-dimensionality. We are not going to draw the people because I think that will become a bit much for you guys. So that's not where we are going to go with it. But we're going to start painting our sky first. Now I'm going to increase this picture and we want to talk about this picture first. Look at the picture on my computer. Eyes on it. So when you see the top of the sky, it's not very bright. It has some dark areas. Halfway down you see a beautiful red. And going further down, you see more of yellows and then even golden. Do you see all those colors? So the sky is going to change colors a lot. And what you want to do is you want to pay attention to that. Okay, so we have this now. Let's start. So now it's time for our paints to come out. You're going to work with these next. So take out your paints. I'm going to set them up here. And I'm going to, I want to leave it on magnify, so I'm going to show you which color. For the sky, at the top, I need you to pick up a specific color. So we are going to be using this color. Look at me. This is the color we're going to use for our sky at the top. So, what are we going to do? I want you to get your water and put some water on top of the color. So you just release some water on the color and count to 10. And when you count to 10, then the paint will be soft enough for you to use. Okay. My paint is soft enough for me to use. Look at what I'm going to do. I'm going to make my sky brighter to the middle, darker on the outer edges. So what I'm going to do is, look at me first, please. Do not paint. First watch me. Eyes on me. No painting. Now I put the paint in the middle. I'm going up and down. Now that the paint spread out, I'm going to take some water and I'm going to pull that paint out to the side like this. And also to the other side. I can come back in with some more paint in the middle like this. Like so. So you want to spread the paint. You don't want it to be too bright. This is the part that needs to be a little bit more subdued. This doesn't want to be bright, so don't make it bright. Use the black of the paper to subdue the color. Okay, eyes on me so that you can see the next color. And in this box, the next color that you want to use is this one here. I'm going to drop my water on top of it and I'm going to count to 10 before I can actually use this paint. So I've got my paint right here and I'm going to put it down for you so that you can have a look at it. Here we go. Now, you're going to stroke in. When you apply this paint the first time, it comes out really strong. But then if you use your same brush and you stroke it again, the color becomes weak. And what we want is, we want a very strong color. So I do not want you to put the color and then stroke on top again. I just want you to take the color from your palette and I want you to leave it. Don't try to stroke it, because if you stroke it, it's going to start becoming very, very soft. And then you may not like it as much. So you're going to bring down this bright orange kind of a sky all the way to the cliff. Notice that I've left some dark areas here. I'm going to go back to them later with a golden color. So I don't want you to fill in all your colors right away. You can use the picture as a reference guide as to where do you want to keep it nice and bright and where you don't. Look at how strong I'm leaving the colors on this. This is like a sunset kind of a painting. Don't mix your colors. Again, I'm reminding you. Just leave it be. I want to now put my paint into this bright yellow here. So I'm going to put some color right here. Water rather, sorry about that. Putting some water on top of the yellow to let it soften. I'll count to about 10. And then I'm going to start putting that in. So now I should be ready to apply this color. And for this color, you're bringing it down to the level of your, this is how far down you want to come. The lighthouse level. Get more paint, apply more paint. And I don't want you to be afraid that you might end up using up all your paint. Why? Because these are the projects that we plan to do. So it's okay if you use up a lot of the paint. I would like that. I would rather that you did it than not. Notice that I'm also going into my orange areas to give a bright yellow line in between the orange streaks. So I'm really just kind of literally drawing out the sky that I would like to see on in the sky itself. Look at how you can still see all of my colors, because whenever I go to touch this, I have extra paint on my brush. If your paint doesn't turn out bright on the paper, that's because you don't have enough of it on your brush to make it look bright. You have to get the paint onto your brush tip, and you can do that by adding a touch more water to the paint so that the paint lifts off. And I'm not trying to mix them. I'm leaving them alone. I'm going to go back and get a little bit more of my orange here, putting some more paint water into it so I can collect some more extra orange. And I want to just put a tiny line here, which I'm going to blend out. So I want all of you to stop for a minute and just look up. Look, I put a tiny line of orange. I blended it out. I have a clean brush, no paint on it. I'm going to stroke it down, stroke it down, stroke it down, all the way. And this will help me kind of reduce that color all the way to my horizon line. This is where if I want to add a blue color, right, this one, I can add some water to it and use this blue into the lower part of the sky down there. Now that the blue is soft enough, I'm going to bring it in right here. Like this. You want some blue here, and you need some blue into the sky right here, but nothing too strong like the yellows and the reds, so you can afford to stretch. When you put down a little bit on your paper, then you can use your brush to help you push that color through the sky. Don't temper the yellows and the oranges, let them stay bright. You don't need those to go soft on you. Adding a little touch of blue into the sky on the top also, because I don't want it to look only black, and I want the whole sky to kind of come around like as if it's one unit and not detached parts. So I take my time on the sky. Now the biggest rule in any kind of a landscape painting is when you like it, if you like what's in front of you, stop. Don't add more to it, because that's probably the time when you will feel like, I really like that sky, I don't want to change anything now. And you shouldn't. So the next thing that we're going to do is this top range of mountains stays dark. So leave it alone. You don't want to put any color in it. When you come to these rocks, I'm going to see if I can magnify. This is my, now watch. This is how you're going to do your rocks. And for your rocks and the beach under it, you will be taking, I believe it is going to be, hold on. Brown color. This one. So I'm going to add, watch me first, please don't do it with me. Just watch me for a minute. Count to 10, let this water kind of really help me get this paint going. Good. I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush now. Pick up some paint, watch me over here, down here guys. I put the paint right over here. I leave a skinny black line. And then I help the paint to move across one section, keep watching, like this. And this will give me a light to dark effect. So I'll keep it brighter on this side and I'll move across. Now here's my second square. I'm going to put my paint right here. And again, I'm going to move across. So what's happening is you get this feeling of transition, light and dark. And I'm intentionally going to leave a little black line. Do you see that? See this little black line here? This needs to stay. When I make the next one now, I'm going to again start from here and I'm going to pull my paints across like this. And I'm going to leave a line here as well. Because I do not need to make it bright everywhere. Leaving these lines is what shows us the cracks in the cliff. So because these are cliffs right here, they're not like consistent. So I can also break it into more sections. So I can show you right now. I can do horizontal sections also like this. Right here. Tiny little black lines. They help you make the feeling of cliffs happen. And I always load up my brush before I start painting one section of the rocks. I'm going to get a little bit of water and stretch this paint out all the way to the side. When I touch water to any of my rocks, I end up making the color look a little bit lighter. That's what happens when you take water to this paint. You take away the power of the paint and you make it look a little bit lighter. So if you wanted to do that, you do it by adding the water. Like this. I'm trying to keep it darker here and darker here in the lighthouse. Now after I do all these cliffs and everything, I want to put a similar color over here, but I want to stretch it. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to grab a thicker brush and just put one line all the way across with paint, like so. I'm going to clean off my brush with the paint, and now I'm going to bring it back, stroking on top of this paint so that I can mix it into the paper. And I don't need to make it too bright, because if I make it too bright, they will all look like one big block. And what I'm trying to show here is that this is the land under the cliffs, and I don't want it to be the same tone, so I have to make it look a little bit lighter. And I do that by cleaning my brush and running it over that color again, so that the power of the color goes out. So now we're going to take it to the ocean. So moving the board over here, this part. The back part cannot be as bright as the sky. It's the ocean, it's the water. So, and this line here and the corner, all of this will stay darker to color. This part will become brighter to color. So what you want to understand is when we take our palette, that blue that we used, which is right over here, put water into this one, and you'll be using your yellow, which is this one, and we're going to put water into this right here. So I let it get soft first, and then I'm going to start. If you look at the picture, you'll notice that there are waves that are coming along here. So that's our first go-to. What do I mean by that? I take my yellow and watch. I'm going to go apply it here, and then I'm going to set it down right over here. Like so. That's my first lot of color. And then I take my brush, look at this, and I'm going to move it across like this, sideways, across. I'm not picking it up, I'm not stroking it across, because these are the waves that are crashing on the beach, and these are the ones that are being seen by us, so we don't want to paint them in a different direction. Go back to my palette. I'm going to pick up another line of my yellow, and I'm going to apply one more line. Look at me, I'm not touching my first line. I've got one more line here. I want to leave this dark, so I'm going to pull this backward again, like so. And this time what I've done is I'm cleaned up my brush, and I'm going to fuse this color. I don't want these waves to go all the way out, so I'm going to rub my brush just like this on it so that I can get this color out. And I can bring in a fresh line of yellow. And I will do this here as well, where I'm going to slowly let the paints dissolve into that black area, so as I can get like a little black break between the waves that are crashing. I'm going to go back and get some more. This time I'm going to take a little bit of my blue now, everyone. So I'm going to add the blue. It's coming along here. I'll clean off my brush, and I'll take my yellow at this point and add that for the balance of it. Same story, push out. Now be careful, you're coming close to your boat. Don't paint on that boat. Stay away from the boat will stay dark. Like this. Cleaned off my brush, I have dried it, and I'm going to make sure that I kind of make the end of my waves vanish. I don't want these lines to show when I bring the new wave up again. I don't want them to show. That's why I'm kind of doing this scratchy little thing. Scratch, 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 scratch. Take it out, take it out. Going back again. One more time, I'm going to bring a yellow wave around. And we are going to do it right here. Until this point, and then over here. And I'm going to stretch, 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 stretch. Now remember, scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. Come in, get rid of these lines so that the next layer of the blue that we do for the ocean will not be fighting on top of this yellow that we've got going on. We don't want the colors to compete with each other. They have to kind of help us make the scenery. So that's how we have to look at this whole thing. Going in again, blue, this time. And put this really good strong line. Now I'm going to bring it in here. And we're going to push, 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 push. Push, 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 push. Like this. Now I'm putting my paints down. I don't need more. I can use this and I can add in the brilliance of a deeper colored gray ocean, and I can just kind of move up and down this whole back end of the picture, and I can really put in the darkness to the ocean in the back here. I don't want this to be as bright as the waves on the beach. And so this is what I've got now. We are down to 14 minutes left in the class, and I want you guys to take 5 minutes, do this, and we're going to go back and reorganize a few things. Good. Well done, Nicholas. All right, now look at this. I need to re-brighten and re-strengthen the sky first. There's a few things. Look at me. This is what you're going to do. These rocks and the sky are looking too close together. So what we do is take a clean brush and you're going to rub on top and make the top of your mountain look darker. Do you see what I've done? This is, you're removing some of the paint here so that, not all of it, some of it, so that the sky can look brighter without making the mountains look like they're part of the sky. So just take a clean brush and just wiggle your brush on the paint, and it will remove some of the paint for you. And when you do just these few mountains, you can leave these ones alone. That would be good. Next, I need you to use the white color here in the middle. Release some water on it. Let it get softer. Also at the same time, please put some water on this peach next to it, because we're going to add it to the sky. And then I want you to also, no, I think these two colors should do it. So this is what you're doing. I'm going to take the white and I'm going to brighten up my sky right here. Just like that. I'm going to take some more white and I'm going to brighten it up over here. I'm going to take my peach and I'm going to give it a little bit more color over here. Because I feel like all the colors are kind of getting mixed up. So I want to reinforce some of the colors, and I want them to look really, really nice. So I'm going to help them to come out by adding some fresh color over the old one, like this. Like so. You need to take the color out of your, what do you call it, your lighthouse, so that it can stay dark. You don't want the lighthouse to have brightness in it. It's like a silhouette. Against such a bright sky, you would have a silhouette. You would not have a bright area. Like this. Nicholas, you've done well, sweetie. You have to, I want you to put your picture down. Take a look at it. Take a look at, now I'm going to increase my picture, guys. The photograph that we're working with for Monet. Here is your sky. Here's all your colors enlarged. I want you to have another look at your painting before we call it a day. And I want you to say what it is that you would like to see in your own painting.